really critical go-to-market tasks. So we started the business back in 2019, and as Rod mentioned, we've grown now to about 30,000 companies that are on the ecosystem, kind of actively using us to unlock this data layer of what we call second-party data, right? What is all the information your partners know that you really wish you did in trying to win accounts or structure deals that are going to finish in the best possible ways. So lots to geek out on there, especially the way that that second-party data gets consumed and used by AI, which I'm very, very excited to get into, and we've been investing in heavily here. But I'll leave it at that teaser and look forward to collaborating with everybody on the webinar here.
Fabulous. And our second speaker is Daniel Nissen, and Daniel is the founder and CEO of Structured. Structured are an AI-first partner marketing platform that's changing how enterprises and partners work and grow together. Structured was recently recognized by Forrester as a 2025 leader and raised 30 million from Invictus Growth Partners. Daniel is a digital innovator who led Structured's evolution from structured web into an agent-driven AI platform that's redefining partner collaboration. And before Structured, Daniel built and scaled multiple startups, including NetGrocer, the first nationwide online supermarket, and even helped pioneer the world's first VoIP software while at VocalTech. So Daniel, tell us a little bit more about Structured.
Good afternoon, Rod. Thank you for having us today on this webinar. We appreciate that. So Structured, formerly known as Structured Web, is the leading channel marketing automation platform serving companies like Microsoft, ServiceNow, Zoom, and Klaviyo, just to name a few. It is an AI-first platform that uses generative AI and agentic AI to solve three major industry challenges related to channel marketing, right? Partner engagement. So we have no portal, just ask a type of conversation like the way you use ChatGPT. We provide content customization and personalization using AI. So any content in any language for any audience is immediately available for the partners based on their request. And the third one is to automate the process, really get partners marketing done in a very automated fashion. So we don't need to rely on partners to remember, to activate, and to run campaigns. Which resulting in a faster time to market, lower cost of operation, and increased leads velocity, really getting partners to drive more revenue in this very competitive landscape. As you mentioned, we were recognized earlier this year by Forrester Wave as the leader in channel marketing automation category. And we're very proud that recently we were named as a winner of the prestigious Cody Award that is given by the Software Industry Association in the broad category of marketing innovation. So I'm very excited to be on this webinar today and participate in the conversation, and thank you for the invitation.
Excellent. And our third speaker is Amit Shah, and he's the co-founder and president at WorkSpan. He pioneered co-sell with SAP, Microsoft, AWS, Google, top ISVs and GSIs, and he's now leading how AI in partnerships can unlock value. So Amit, tell us a little bit more about WorkSpan.
Absolutely, Rod. What a pleasure to be with this community. Always loved participating here. Thanks for the opportunity. WorkSpan is actually bringing partnering advantage to companies' sales process to unlock revenue growth. The way we do this is twofold. First is the traditional, what we call partner automation. The fact that your CRM can connect to the CRMs of hyperscalers, ISVs, GSI. So you can go and connect with the sellers on the other side. You can actually co-sell with them. Co-sell is a term that WorkSpan pioneered 9 years ago, and it's been our distinct pleasure to be the platform of choice for co-selling in the industry. So last year we did close to 1 million opportunities, 60 billion in co-sell pipeline for companies across the network. So you can join once, connect your CRM, and then you can work with any ISV, GSI, hyperscaler, channel partner that you can imagine. So top companies that use it: AWS, Microsoft, Google, GSIs like Deloitte, Capgemini, and top ISVs like Palo Alto Networks, MongoDB, Databricks, Cisco, SAP. So a very distinct capability there. The second piece is, of course, what we are seeing with AI now. This is a very important partnership, and partnership automation is not enough if sellers are not activated. So this is the second component that we feel that AI unlocks. And how do companies then drive sales to actually participate alongside with partners? So those are the two capabilities. Happy to geek out and talk a little bit more together with my co-panelists here and share a little bit more, Rod.
Okay, fabulous. So, want to start by setting the scene, and Bob, if I can come to you first. Channel marketing has really changed in the last 18 months. If you wanted to summarize, Bob, the big three changes that you're seeing and what's driving those changes, what would they be?
Yeah, this is a great question. And I'd say that anytime you're asked to give a list of three things, it packs a much bigger punch if they're all connected to each other or they have some kind of domino effect that ends up coming out of it. And I do think that that is really the case here. Because if you rewind the clock, maybe even a little more than 18 months, but certainly accelerated in the last 18 months, there has been nothing short of a data revolution that has happened in the last 5 to 10 years as it relates to best practices and building out partner ecosystems. This is true across the channel universe. It's also true in the ISV world. It's true even in corporate development and strategic acquisitions, where the the digital transformation movement and the fact that virtually all operating companies of any scale have their data in the cloud has unlocked this new means by which companies can share data across company lines in a scalable manner that doesn't just involve emailing spreadsheets around. And I think if you're sitting at a company now and you think about collaborating with partners around data and accounts and knowledge about where there might be opportunities to collaborate, and you're achieving that by QBRs where you exchange spreadsheets and write a bunch of VLOOKUPs. This is a motion from a decade ago, and it has been largely replaced by all of the large ecosystem players at scale. And platforms like Crossbeam and Reveal, which we recently merged with, have kind of been the pioneers in that space. And as a result of that, every company that's running that motion now has this giant fire hose of data, of second party data, where they can look at the accounts they care about and not just know what they know in their CRM or PRM systems, but know everything that their partners also know, that their partners are willing to share with them. Who owns these relationships already? Who's already working with these companies? What's the latest activity, et cetera. So phase one there is this unlock of this data. And then in the last 18 months, you bring AI into the fold. And what is the fuel that feeds AI? It's data, it's context. And as these models have gotten stronger and stronger, and the base LLMs have become significantly more powerful and frankly more increasingly commoditized, the differentiation comes out of specialization. And you can specialize your models in how you train them, which very few have the capability to do. What happens more often is that specialization comes from context. What are these agents that are powered by these models able to be aware of? What do they know with certainty? What are they able to see that can actually influence the logic that they apply and the way in which that logic ends up making recommendations, taking agentic actions on behalf of people? And guess what? Step one, that data unlock, that is the context. That is the very currency of knowledge and action that these agentic players need in order to actually operate and do great work in partner ecosystems and frankly, throughout the entire go-to-market operations of a business. So suddenly, partner teams and partner ecosystems become this major supplier. Like we're standing on the oil that is going to be the fuel that pushes this AI-powered go-to-market revolution forward, right? And that's where you get to item three, because the item three unlock is that this is how we solve partner teams getting off of partner island. And this concept that the work that gets done by partner teams kind of lives in this operational silo inside of many businesses where we have our own KPIs and we have our own ways of doing things and our own three-letter acronyms that only partner people understand. What we're seeing happen is the unlock of data and then the availability and distribution of that data and the insights from it is starting to get into the hands of everybody in the go-to-market org. We have CMOs, we have people running direct sales teams, we have people running channel sales teams, we have folks all across the revenue operations organization and the data layers who want to consume this information that's coming out of the ecosystem because it makes everybody smarter. It makes every seller have the ability to have this 360-degree view of every account. ecosystem wide, and it makes the agents that support them make better recommendations, draft better emails, recommend better follow-ups, find better context, all because of that. So you get the data, then you get the AI, then you get this cross-functional distribution of that information across teams, and then what you end up having on your hands is an incredibly, incredibly transformative effect where ecosystems are number one again, and are basically on top of the stack around creating strategic leverage for every company that's building them. And that's what ecosystem-led growth is all about.
Okay. And Daniel, I'm a marketing person. I'm seeing all of these new tools, all of these new capabilities coming in. I want to be relevant. I want to be at the top of the pile. I want to be one of those people who's really leveraging what's there. What advice have you got for people on the call who are looking at this swathe of new technologies coming in? What should they be doing?
Mhm. Yeah. So if you look at this space, and it's clearly AI, generative AI and agentic AI is changing how marketing is being done, right? And if you look at the core principle of marketing is communication, right? Being able to communicate to people and making sure that they understand the value of the product. Is it communicating to the partners so they can communicate it to the end customers, or communicating that to the end customers so they can understand the value of the product and then communicate that to their peers to build the consensus of buying a specific solutions, right? It's also understanding the customers, right? So collecting information, asking questions, and all of that. And we're really lucky that the generative AI is very capable to do both, right? You take a conversation, you can extract the knowledge from the conversation. You want to tailor a message, both the text, the image, the others. And it's really powerful, and I find to be even magicful the way that AI can explain things. So if you go to AI and ask what content syndication is, which is the common channel marketing content, and to tell it's a tool that enable ISVs to place content on their partners' websites. But then when you ask AI, explain it to a kindergarten kid, age kid, and it will tell, oh, it's like providing, if you have a lemonade stand, it's like providing a billboard that if you sell that lemonade stands through friends in other neighborhoods, you update the billboard, their billboard will show them the current price and the flavors that you have to sell these days. So the ability really to adjust the message to the right persona, to the right audience, to the right language, even the right culture and localization is really powerful. And I will encourage people to look into tools, technologies, and capabilities, starting with the basic. Do it yourself on ChatGPT, on Claude, on Gemini, or look into more automated solution that can do it at scale, like Structured, that can automate the entire process of partner engagement, better communication, better videos, images, text that drive better understanding of the value proposition and accelerate the process and the velocity of leads conversion to opportunities and opportunities conversion to orders.
Okay. And Daniel, you mentioned a couple of other technologies there, Claude, etc. What are they, and what do they do?
So ChatGPT, of course, this is the one that pioneered the current revolution that we see with generative AI and the ability to go and have a conversation. This tool is evolving every day. We see at the beginning it was basic model where you place a prompt, you write a request, you ask a question, it will use its own trained knowledge to provide information. It's evolved in the last few years to provide more information by doing real-time web searches. So now the broad knowledge of the web available there. It has more agentic AI that you can actually build process and automate that and let it run every day to give you the news summary. Or if you book a hotel for a travel in 3 months, tell it to go every morning and check if the price drop and rebook it for you, right? So the automation is a key part of the capabilities of AI. And also the simplification, right? When I start to do programming, I work in assembly, a very difficult language to do any programming. Then later we move to more advanced software programming like BASIC or C++, and that still requires a lot of technical skills. Now with ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, all AI agents that are available for the vast majority of people, most of them are for free. You can actually do programming, can interact with a computer in your own language, be it in text, in voice, or actually even upload images. So it makes everything more accessible. It makes everything easier, which enable all of us to elevate the way we use technologies to achieve something, being it learning something. So if I'm a customer of Google, or I'm a channel partner of Google and I want to learn the best and latest about Google technology or Google Cloud Engine, I can simply go to one of those AI clients and ask a question. Then I can ask, how can I position it to my customer? And my customer is doing A, B, and C and trying to solve these problems. And it will collect all that information, organize it for you, and deliver it to you. Okay, what we make on our end is the ability to do it in a controlled environment where the information is controlled by the ISV or by the hardware manufacturer. So their partners only introduce with grounded content, and approved knowledge to make sure that this interaction is correct and is not influenced by incorrect sources.
Excellent. And Amit, start with you. A quick question and a quick answer from all three of you. We're here also to talk very much about increasing partner-sourced revenue. So a quick answer, please, from each of the three of you. Where's the biggest opportunity you see today to increase partner-sourced revenue?
Yeah, three things that I see, and I'll keep this very brief. Most companies have connected their systems. Partner automation is table stakes now. If you're not already connected your CRM to your top partners, you're behind the curve. But once you do that and the bidirectional capability is there, you got to shift left. Number one is providing coverage to your sellers and to your marketing team. And this is where identifying agentically which accounts, which opportunities actually fit a given partner. So when you do that, partner sourced pipeline and hence partner sourced revenue goes up. Second is, seller activation. If you think about these sales teams knowing and understanding what partnerships actually bring to the table, this is a huge deal. So internal activation, this is where in the step 3 of our partner AI maturity model, we stress the fact that the partnering team and the sales team and the marketing team, the internal GTM, that needs to get matured up. So this is the muscle that companies are building now, moving beyond personal productivity of using AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude for your own productivity or your team's productivity. Now get it one level up by coordinating between sales and marketing and partnering team before you even reach out to the partners. So I would say these two would be very, very critical to increase the partner source. And we can get into how you measure that in the next step.
Okay. Same question to you, Bob.
Yeah, so I think there's if you zoom out and just go from a first principles basis and you ask the question, how do you get more partner sourced revenue? The answer is you get more partner sourced pipeline. And partner sourced pipeline kind of can take a very new form in this world where you have a lot more data available from the CRMs of your partners or from the sales pipelines of your partners because what used to feel like something where you are reliant upon partners registering a deal with you as potentially that first touch in a lot of cases, or otherwise kind of taking the first action to throw an opportunity over the wall. What you can do in a world with automated account mapping and CRM visibility is you can look at what we all have, which is hundreds of thousands, if not millions of accounts sitting kind of dormant in our CRM systems that kind of feel like garbage data or junk data taking up room. And you refine that down into your ideal customer profile just based on employee scale and things like that. And you look at all the ones that look dark, right? The ones where there is no activity, where they haven't been to your website or filled out a form or attended an event. And most companies aren't really able to do anything with those leads other than ice cold outreach. But if you're able to compare that enormous universe of kind of dark matter in your CRM system against the activity that's going on in the CRMs and relationships of your entire partner ecosystem, even if it's the tiniest little ping that someone acknowledges on the partner side that they've had a conversation recently, or that there's been an opportunity created, or that someone is an existing customer, even with no more context, suddenly you have the pieces of what you could call an ecosystem qualified lead. You have the ability to take this knowledge about what's going on in the context of an account, not from just your first party knowledge or from third party data that you bought from some provider that your competitors can buy from too, but from your own ecosystem. Your second party data becomes this really, really powerful layer by which you can actually figure out which deals to focus on, to reach out to partners about, to be proactive on, based on that information, that signal, that buying signal that's coming in out of your ecosystem. And then this whole debate about partner sourced versus partner originated versus partner influenced, and the epic attribution battle that we've all kind of lived and died through 100 times over becomes a much easier point. Because if you are initiating the deal and you are originating it into the pipeline because of an ecosystem qualified lead signal, then it's pretty undeniable that when that revenue closes, that is ecosystem source revenue. And if I want to shortcut it from beginning to end of the sales cycle, that's the first place that I would look.
Excellent. And Daniel, if you look at this, you're obviously working with a number of clients to drive partner source revenue. Can you give us a couple of examples of programs that have really made a difference that you've utilized with your customers?
Specific names, but in general, it starts when we step in with marketing for the channel, right? We step into existing organization and existing partner network, right? And there is a lot of data available from company like Crossbeam, or marketing and sales collaboration like available for Workspan, right? So these tools, as that I clearly stated before, we focus on the marketing communication, how to tell the story. And to tell the story, you need to understand who are the players in that process. So for example, using AI now, we can go to the partners' websites and learn about what they do, who they sell to, what are the vendors they sell, what are their services they provide. So the first step is to understand that network and understand who you sell through. And do they really can reach the end customers? And in many cases, we found there is a misalignment, right? We had a customer wanted to sell to the healthcare industry and pushing content and campaigns and activities through partners. But when you check the partners, they don't sell to the healthcare industry at all, right? So that's misalignment. And second is also to enable the partners to understand their customers. Again, from a marketing perspective, who I sell to, the buyer persona, what messages are kind of will resonate with this audience. Make it simpler to communicate and make it clear. And really, when I talk about the product in a specific use case, I can explain it. And we worked many years ago, so I can mention that with Nortel Technologies, right? They had the device tracking product that they were trying to sell, and through partners, and very non-successful process. And when we told them, hey, take that message and tailor it to partners that sell to specific industry, they were able to take that simple device and explain how you can use it in healthcare, how you can use it in education, in manufacturing, just putting the device in context and telling the story how this device can solve the problem. Not talking about the device, talking about the customer problems. That really elevated the results in a significant way. So what changed in the last 15 years since we did that campaign with Nortel to today? Simply that you can do it in scale, in automation. So take the data, take the processes, tailor the stories in the right way around this data and processes, and then you get a significant impact because it's very simple. People will get it. People will understand if you explain it in their context and not come around and brag about your product, but really focus and understand their problems and explain it to them in the way they understand.
Okay. And Amit, Bob touched on something really important, which is the whole attribution argument. You know, what is and what isn't partner source revenue? And obviously, in order to really understand that, people in channel marketing have to get together with the finance department and others in order to agree on the metrics and the way that's being driven. What are some of the best ways you've seen people being able to achieve that, agree what the bases are and what everyone's looking for?
Yeah, awesome. Rod, first, a quick observation. I just noticed it's not by accident that you assembled this panel together between Dan at Structured Web and Bob at Crossbeam and Workspan here. We actually cover the end-to-end. If you think about the content that gets communicated to Dan's point, the accounts that get mapped to Bob's point, and then what do you do with the opportunity? You know, once you've landed a lead or something like that, how do you then attribute and actually get the sales teams going, which is Workspan's bread and butter. So between the three of us, you have a good stack that we can actually give you a comprehensive solution and answer. On to the specific point around attribution, right? Bob said it, right? There is no denying the fact that you need a system to actually know who sourced the revenue, who sourced the deal, right? But that's just the start of it. That just like, initial, like, hey, it's sourced, so here's the number. But more importantly, next level metrics is really important around engagement, which is, okay, what was the kind of engagement that you sourced? Was the partner providing you a POC? Did they provide an architecture review? Did they do the demo? Did they open a new buying center? Did they actually help close the deal by setting, business case to the board? Did they provide post-sales support and hence the deal happened? So there are 7 or 8 additional things that we track in Workspan that help companies actually do this. So I'll take a very specific example. Take Palo Alto Networks and Google as a relationship, or Deloitte and AWS as a relationship, or take Capgemini and Microsoft as a relationship. They are, of course, now keeping score in terms of AOs and POs, like Amazon originated and partner originated opportunity. So that's very clear attribution. But all these companies are going one level down now and starting to attribute the nature of the collaboration. So how many demos were unlocked as a result of it? How many new buying centers got added, and hence we got an expansion. Now, what this has now allowed us to do is go to second level metrics, and there are 4 key metrics here. Number 1 is attribution beyond partner sourced into the growth in pipeline. Because we went to adjacent buying centers, and did the pipeline grow? And what we are seeing is anywhere from 20% to 3x growth in pipeline through partnerships. Second is increase in deal size. Because we are collaborating earlier in the deal cycle and in a structured way, did the deal size grow? Especially with better together stories, can we grow the deal size? So we are seeing 24% growth there across 500,000 plus opportunities. Third is actually acceleration. Very quickly, what partnerships had gotten a reputation 10 years ago was, hey, if I bring in a partner, this will slow the deal down. What data has actually proven is that because partners can intersect at different levels in the buying cycle or the buying committee, the decision making actually gets accelerated. So there's a very good myth to be debunked there in terms of deal acceleration. And then lastly, if you think about post-sales activities that happen, right? It's about renewals and retention. What we are seeing is partnerships deals tend to renew more often. They have a much higher retention. So I think these 4 additional metrics get unlocked beyond just the partner source number because of fine-grained calculations that are coming beyond this. This is very similar to what we saw in sales automation. Initially, it was all about pipeline, but as you look into how mature CROs and their sales ops teams are reviewing pipeline, they're looking at all these additional things, not just the pipeline number that keeps growing, right?
Okay. And Daniel, if we look at this, one of the ways to drive partner source revenue is to focus on 2 things. Obviously, the partners that are driving a lot of the revenue at the moment, but also uncovering the hidden gems, the people that are just doing a bit of business with you, but have huge potential to do a lot more. How would you advise the people on the call to use the tools that we have today to uncover those hidden gems? What have you seen really working?
This is an outstanding question because a lot of people are kind of concerned with the effect of AI on the workplace and kind of losing jobs and what's the future have for them. And if you look at that, actually, what the AI is enabling now is to take the position that are available and just expand them and provide them to more customers and more partners. Take, for example, in our space, there is a profession called marketing concierge, right? Or partner marketing managers, people that engage with partners and help them to build a marketing plan, build an MDF request. Even in some cases, some of our customers have marketing concierge people helping partners to execute campaigns. Right? You can do it only with the large partners. So if you work with Capgemini or with Deloitte and others, yes, you might have a dedicated even person full-time working with them and doing partner marketing. But what about the smaller partners, the mid-sized partners and others? It's impossible economically. But now if we look at AI and the ability to build agents that are digital clones of those partner marketing managers and can do the same at scale at automation for those partners that you could not cover before, that's a significant way to change the way you engage partners, help them to build a marketing plan, help them to design the program, help them to request and submit proof of performance for MDF. All of that can be automated. So really, it's not about replacing the people that do the high touch, do the big to the large partners is taking those knowledge and capabilities and processes, make a digital clone of them, and they're not going to be as skewed as the people. But then the choice is give nothing to the smaller partners or give something that now help them to act like a big partner and take that gem and develop it and polish it to become a diamond.
And Bob, I know you're very, very focused on analytics. How can I use analytics? What should I be looking at? What AI tools should I be using to really understand my partner base and who are the guys that are being very successful for me now? But again, building on what Daniel said, uncovering those hidden gems.
Yeah, it's a great question, and the AI bit of that is actually a little bit of a curveball because these AI systems are exceptionally good at a lot of problems that mimic human tasks, particularly because they are ultimately giant probability machines. And they're very, very good at doing probabilistic generation of things like writing in the way a human would, or applying logic in the ways that a human would. But then in other ways, they can be less good, like deterministic processes that have to be completely identical every time, right? Or giving the same answer to the same question, or at least arriving at or working through getting to that answer in the same way predictably. So when we talk about analytics in these contexts, I think it's important to say, where do traditional analytics systems actually serve as the best tool for the job? Where honestly, there's still a lot of low-hanging fruit available from the amount of data that's available to most companies. And then where can we layer on AI and agentic capabilities to take the output of those analytics and actually turn them into action? In my previous companies, both of which were in the data analytics space, actionability was the key word, because no deployment was ever successful if the dashboards or the analytics or the reports didn't actually change the behavior of the people that were consuming them. And I think that question, not of what analytics should we be looking at, but how do we make those analytics actionable and take action on them, that's where the AI actually comes into play. All right, so you think about the analytics, just to answer your question directly, it should be an absolutely trivial question to understand which of your partners in your ecosystem are responsible for the greatest amount of net new pipeline generation, net new deals coming in the door, the growth in existing accounts, being able to segment that by numerous dimensions, whether it be geography or product lines, or even the specific humans that are involved in the deals themselves. These are all things that classic deterministic analytics will be great for. Get your data into a data warehouse or a lakehouse, put a BI platform on top, write some SQL queries, and it comes out the other side, right? And we all have teams that can do this, and the AI can help us at least get that set up. But then when it runs every day, the AI is not really doing any work, right? It's standing there and we are watching these metrics move ahead. The question then becomes, when you get that data out the other side and you learn that you have a partner that is packing a significantly greater punch than the others, or that is outperforming the others in a particular vertical, or you have a sales rep or a team member on your team or on a partner team that is just disproportionately performing well, this is where the AI gets really, really good, because you can ask it to do an ad hoc analysis to try and dig a few layers deeper on why that might be. But more importantly, you can have it doing things like building out account strategy plans or partnership strategy plans specific to this moment in time, based on where our sales pipelines overlap, based on where we have active deals open together. How should we best collaborate, and what partner marketing materials are going to enable that partner? What email drafts might be the best for either inside or outside communication to bring that to life? And how do we actually act on this strategy in this very specific situation that maybe 14 days ago wasn't in the same state, and 14 days from now won't be relevant? These ephemeral strategies that need to be generated at scale constantly as the data changes, that's where you plug the AI in. But you've got to feed the AI, again, actually data that is not dependent on AI. It's kind of this classic deterministic data fuel that gets these things really creating value.
Yeah.
And Daniel, I've been using ChatGPT. I've been generating better content, more content as a result of that. Yeah. What are the next steps? What are the revolutionary things you're seeing? What are the revolutionary tools your clients are using to really upscale their marketing to and through their partners?
Yeah. So if in the last 3 years, can't believe it's only 3 years that we're going through this major revolution already. We focus mostly on the communication side, the generative AI to generate content, to generate text, to generate videos at scale and highly personalized. I think the next shift is the agentic AI, right? Really putting the AI agent to do work for you based on data, based on information, based on instruction and direction you or as a vendor or you as a partner can give to the AI with the level of involvement that you want in every step. We see it, and a lot of us heard about vibe coding, how you can get coding done. And again, up until 3 or 4 months ago, it was writing codes, which like writing a copy for email campaign or a banner ad. It would have wrote for you code to do software programming. And that's also moving now to agentic AI. So you give it a mission, and the agent can work for half an hour, for an hour, or for a few hours to get the work done based on set instructions. So this is really the next level of highly customized automation that combine generative AI, the ability to comprehend content, comprehend data, and comprehend text and instructions, together with the ability to take actions based on tools and resources that are available for that agent. So that agent can, it's like a group of people sitting in a room. Each one of them has different skills, right? And they can collaborate together. So you don't tell them right away, you work in a specific workflow process. You do A, you do B, you do C. Agent technology is about a group of people, or in this case, group of tools that can be assembled together, bespoke based on specific requests. So if you ask to launch a campaign, you can activate the agent that will go to the target market and learn what the current, from the public news, what's the current challenges in this industry. Another agent that can tailor that message. A third agent that learn about the partner and tailor the message for them. And a fourth agent that will actually generate the marketing content. And the last one will actually schedule it and send it out.
Excellent.
So we're
And
moving
Amit,
to the higher degree of automation and personalization and based on data and processes that connect the people together.
fabulous. And Amit, if you look at this, this is bringing partner marketing, which used to kind of sit on its own, and partner sales much, much closer together. They have to work
Absolutely.
far more closely. How are you seeing the relationship between partner marketing and partner sales changing?
Yeah, dramatically. So a couple of things, right? Partner sales and partner marketing, any partnering function for that matter, has often been underserved, under resourced, if you will. So the biggest challenge that partner marketing and partner sales roles have faced is coverage. Like you have a large sales team, you have a large set of accounts to prosecute, large number of opportunities. How do you bring partner advantage to every account, every opportunity, every conversation to bear, right? If I had all the dollars, I could put it to partner marketing. It would just magically solve a lot of problems. So here I see AI kind of delivering the disproportionate non-linear growth, right? You can literally, so we launched our AI agents, and you can create an agent for AWS, an agent for Microsoft, an agent for any partnership you imagine on Workspan. And then what we found was what people are using it for is providing account coverage. Now you have an AI agent trained in AWS or Microsoft, Google or SI or Channel, who's there to take care, of course, guided by a partner sales manager or a partner marketing manager, depending on the purpose for which it has been created, to actually provide that coverage. And who trains this AI agent? It's the partner marketing manager or the partner sales manager who says, hey, here's the context of my partnership uniquely that I want you to know. In addition to your massive PhD level learning that you've been trained on, here's the context of my partnership. Here's what I'm trying to achieve. And now go help my accounts. Now go help my opportunities. Now go help my activities. So I think that's been the magical part. It's not really, it's not really kind of some AI that has magically come in and said, it is something that the partner managers intentionally provided. Another very simple area. The partner manager gets asked the same question again and again by everybody. But now you have an agent that actually can answer those questions. Partner manager repeatedly sets up calls for sales, or marketing manager repeatedly would engage on a lead activity, lead qualification activity. Now we've passed that on to the agentic systems. Now, as a result, these agents can actually schedule co-sell meetings between two companies, right? And that half an hour activity is back in your day. You can do more activities and more strategic things as a result of it. So I'm seeing agentic actions like this actually provide the scale and automation that partnering has always missed because they've been under-resourced. So I believe it's time for disproportionate impact in partnering because of AI, that the resource unlock has happened.
Mhm.
Okay. Bob, if I can bring you in for a moment. We've talked a lot about looking at our existing partner sets. If we're going to drive more partner source revenue, we're also going to have to bring new partners to the table. How could AI help us identify who those new partners are, who has the potential for us, and potentially what they're looking for from us?
This is such a great application for AI. So one of the things that AI gives us, in addition to, you know, text generation and really smart logic and automation, is the ability to consume a never-ending stream of data and new information. And isn't that what we're all dealing with every day in trying to figure out where to invest our resources in doing things, especially like recruiting, training, prioritizing, and investing in new partners. So, you know, the classic motion for this without AI is deeply flawed. And it's one that we see in virtually every company with room for improvement. You know, particularly with mature companies and larger enterprises, partner recruitment is very rarely thought of as like a first order problem because there's always some optimization that's going to impact your revenue this quarter or what deals close this quarter that you can focus on, likely with the partners already onboarded and already working deals. But the future and the growth mechanics of your business are always dependent upon cultivating and building and staying a few quarters ahead in terms of what your partners can generate. So the way historically that gets done is, frankly, subject to a bunch of human biases, right? Recency bias. Who did you meet at that event that seemed like they had a similar worldview, or some kind of bias around just the perception of compatibility that happens when you interact with folks, or maybe there's a bias where your CEO says everything's AI now, so you just add the partners with .ai at the end of their domain names, right? Like we see stuff like this going on out there in the world. The real thing you should be doing is constantly evaluating your prospective partners using data. And I sound like a broken record over here, but the same exact motions I've been describing around account mapping within your existing ecosystem to find and work the best deals in the best moments and drive deals forward in the best ways. You can run those same motions with companies that are not yet in your ecosystem. You can do analysis without sharing any data whatsoever that is just high level rolled up statistics. How many customers do we have in common? What's the total ACV of the sets of business that we have overlapping? How many open opportunities right now are you also actively working with your own business? All of these questions are quantifiable. They're ones that are relatively easy to stand up and answer the questions to using something like Crossbeam. And then they give you some kind of basis on which you can determine where and how the ideal customer profiles likely overlap, where and how the market opportunities overlap, the size of those market opportunities. And you can actually get into a place where you can build a heuristic fairly simply that allows you to stack rank those potential partners. And more importantly than that, every single day as the new data comes in, if you keep this data flowing, continuously update that stack ranking so that it's not a one and done. I evaluated this partner, it didn't work out, and therefore 3 years later, maybe we'll take another shot at it. It is every single quarter systematically. When you start to see momentum building, when you start to see a partner that's catching fire in a certain segment or a certain geography, you can jump on that, and you can be the partner of theirs that sees it coming, that's way out ahead of the curve, and that is more successful with them. And that's strategic leverage, especially against competition. So it's a really big deal, but it starts with the data, and then you get the AI to chew that data and kind of tell you where to look.
Okay. And we're almost out of time. So, a final question for each of you. And I'll start with you, Daniel. What's the one marketing innovation that you think will most increase partner source revenue in the next 12 months?
I think as we talk through the conversation today, we talk about generative AI and agentic AI. I think the next step is MCP, which is the ability to connect multiple tools together and orchestrate them without developing any program or without any API. So take, for example, a partner comes in and they use Crossbeam to find an overlap of prospect with one of the ISV they're working with. And using an AI agent now, we can communicate automatically with no programming, no APIs to Crossbeam based on permission and subject to authorization from that partner. Take that list and develop a marketing content and a marketing campaign for that specific segment that they identify together. But that's not the end. Now that same content now can be delivered to their HubSpot or Marketo or Salesforce cloud again without any customized integration. So we get the content, we get the agentic AI, and now we get the collaboration of best of breed tools. You have the best data, the best partner enablement, the best partner marketing, all working together both on the process, collecting and organizing the data, and then surfacing the response and the results back to the stockholder that are curious about this information. So that third level of taking and orchestrating multiple systems in a very easy way is just the next evolution that will drive that simplification of using information technology to collaborate with partners all around the world in a very effective way.
Excellent. And same question to you, Amit. And if everyone could be brief, because I've got a couple of really good questions coming in from the audience that I do want to finish up with. So, Amit, the one marketing innovation that will most increase partner source revenue in the next 12 months?
Yeah, lead sharing. In my opinion, if you look at what we're doing with hyperscalers, you have your listings, but those listings will require, whether you're doing free trials or doing, send me, contact me for example. Those are examples of automated lead sharing through partners. But imagine if you can unlock that for every activity, every event that you do. For partner marketing, that reduces the budget by half and multiplies the results by 2 at least, so 4x advantage.
Excellent. And the same question to you, Bob.
Yeah, honestly, I agree so much with Amit here. I think there's like a world where we're mentally running at the same wavelength in the chat and the webinar. So I'm just going to send him a huge high five and say +1 to that.
Excellent. And Daniel, we're hearing more and more about data residency, data privacy, new laws coming in Europe, new laws coming in certain areas of the Far East. How is that going to impact what we do when we look at cross-border data sharing? What's the impact actually going to be, and how do we prepare for it?
It's really, most of that work is on the vendor side that manage and run the information systems. And we invest a lot of time in that and to follow up the regulation to keep the system up to date and provide that infrastructure which they need to be compliance. And I'm sure that my honor colleague here on the call and other vendors in the space do exactly the same. This is, again, taking the raw technology of AI and information technology and hosting, and somebody's managing it for you. That's the power of SaaS. You don't need to run this software on your own. You don't need to store the data on your own. And you have companies that specialize in that and can do it at scale, and can, because of that scale, can invest the right capital to do it in a compliance with law and based on best practice regulation, both for privacy, legal, and of course, most important, security and safety of data.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
Lord, I would go even one step further. This is one space you don't want to DIY. You do want to go for the best practice.
Yeah.
This is not consumer apps where you can break the rules and ask for forgiveness later. This is enterprise. This is there are rules and laws for it. So there are Bob and I think Dan would concur that there are very well-defined, laws around GDPR, around data. If you don't have customer permission to share the data, you don't have it. Simply, you just simply can't say, "Oops, that happened," right? So, which means you need fine-grained access control. You need AI to be grounded in terms of access on which it is trained, and it needs to be verifiable and auditable, right? And that's what companies are looking for. And that's what, when companies like, I mentioned a few on the chat, Palo Alto or Deloitte or EY or others use us, their auditors come back year after year auditing us, saying, "Hey, can you prove that this is actually how it worked? It's not just like, hey, anybody can break the rules and use the tool."
Yeah, and verified AI is really critical
Very
because
critical.
they can provide false information. So I was testing and demoing something for somebody yesterday, and we took the same prompt and put it in our system and put it in ChatGPT, and it shows you the sources. So our system only use the vendor, the ISV approved sources for knowledge, and the other one, ChatGPT, just search the web and you look at the sources. It was Wikipedia, it was news articles, blog posts from different sources, and also information from competitors. Right. So if you cannot control what AI can rely on, what information it provides, and also monitor and observe the output to your partners, the AI can be very, very harmful from data privacy and from misleading information that can cause major legal and financial concerns for major companies.
Yeah, vet your vendors. They are not all created equal. And I
Yeah.
think, you know, if you get the right folks on the line from privacy or compliance or legal or security, they should really be leaving those calls feeling more confident, not less. And I think that's a really, really quick test that I would advise everybody to do.
Yeah. And
Fabulous.
Amit said the greatest way is it's not a DIY type of approach, right?
Yep.
Don't do it. Don't try to do it in-house.
Yeah.
Bob, Daniel, Amit, thank you very, very much indeed. Great content, great insights in terms of what we should all be doing. So a huge thank you for everyone who joined the webinar. And there will be a quick survey on the webinar as you leave. Please do take 2 minutes to complete that. But once again, Bob, Daniel, Amit, thank you very, very much.
Thank you,
you.
Rod.
you, Rod.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
Amit. Great
Thank
being
you.
with you on this webinar.
Likewise, everybody.
Thank you,
What a
guys.
joy. Thank you.
Great afternoon.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.